Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. The rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Wednesday the 24th of January 2024, and we have 41 events to cover, going all the way back to the year 41. Starting with the most recent event, which happened 6 years ago in 2018, former doctor Larry Nassar is sentenced up to 175 years in prison after being found guilty of using his position to sexually abuse female gymnasts. 13 years ago in 2011, at least 35 are killed and 180 injured in a bombing at Moscow's Domodedovo airport. 15 years ago in 2009, Cyclone Klaus makes landfall near Bordeaux, France, causing 26 deaths as well as extensive disruptions to public transport and power supplies. 21 years ago in 2003, the United States Department of Homeland Security officially begins operation. 34 years ago in 1990, Japan launches Haiten, the country's first lunar probe. The first robotic lunar probe since the Soviet Union's Luna 24 in 1976, and the first lunar probe launched by a country other than the Soviet Union or the United States. 35 years ago in 1989, notorious serial killer Ted Bundy, with over 30 known victims, is executed by the electric chair in the Florida State Prison. 37 years ago in 1987, about 20,000 protesters march in a civil rights demonstration in Forsyth County, Georgia, United States. 38 years ago in 1986, the Voyager 2 space probe makes its closest approach to Uranus. 40 years ago in 1984, Apple Computer places a Macintosh personal computer on sale in the United States. 46 years ago in 1978, Soviet satellite Cosmos 954, with a nuclear reactor on board, burns up in Earth's atmosphere, scattering radioactive debris over Canada's Northwest Territories. Only 1% is recovered. 47 years ago in 1977, the Atocha massacre occurs in Madrid during the Spanish transition to democracy. 52 years ago in 1972, Japanese Sergeant Shoichi Yokoi is found hiding in a Guam jungle, where he had been since the end of World War II. 56 years ago in 1968, in the Vietnam War, the 1st Australian Task Force launches Operation Coburg against the North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong during the wider fighting around Long Binh and Bien Hoa. 58 years ago in 1966, Air India Flight 101 crashes into Mont Blanc. 63 years ago in 1961, Goldsboro B-52 crash. A bomber carrying 2 H-bombs breaks up in mid-air over North Carolina. The uranium core of one weapon remains lost. 64 years ago in 1960, in the Algerian War, some units of European volunteers in Algiers stage an insurrection known as the Barricades Week, during which they seized government buildings and clash with local police. "78 years ago in 1946, the United Nations General Assembly passes its first resolution to establish the United Nations Atomic Energy Commission. 81 years ago in 1943, in World War II, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Winston Churchill conclude a conference in Casablanca. 82 years ago in 1942, also in World War II, the Allies bombard Bangkok, leading Thailand, then under Japanese control, to declare war against the United States and the United Kingdom. 85 years ago in 1939, the deadliest earthquake in Chilean history strikes Chillán, killing approximately 28,000 people. 89 years ago in 1935, Gottfried Kruger Brewing Company starts selling the first canned beer. "91 years ago in 1933, the 20th Amendment to the United States Constitution is ratified, changing the beginning and end of terms for all elected federal officers. 106 years ago in 1918, the Gregorian calendar is introduced in Russia by decree of the Council of People's Commissars, effective February the 14th, New Style. 108 years ago in 1916, in Brushaber versus Union Pacific Railroad Company, the Supreme Court of the United States declares the federal income tax constitutional. 109 years ago in 1915, in World War I, British Grand Fleet battle cruisers under Vice Admiral Sir David Beatty engage Rear Admiral Franz von Hipper's battle cruisers in the Battle of Dogger Bank. 116 years ago in 1908, the first Boy Scout troop is organised in England by Robert Baden-Powell. 124 years ago in 1900, in the Second Boer War, Boers stop a British attempt to break the siege of Ladysmith in the Battle of Spion Kop. 165 years ago in 1859, the United Principalities of Moldavia and Wallachia, later named Romania, is formed as a personal union under the rule of Domnitor Alexandru Ioan Cuza. 167 years ago in 1857, the University of Calcutta is formally founded as the first fully fledged university in South Asia. 176 years ago in 1848, in the California Gold Rush, James W. Marshall finds gold at Sutter's Mill near Sacramento. 189 years ago in 1835, slaves in Salvador da Bahia, Brazil, stage a revolt which is instrumental in ending slavery there 50 years later. 207 years ago in 1817, crossing the Andes, many soldiers of Juan Gregorio de las Heras are captured during the action of Pichueta. 266 years ago in 1758, during the 7 Years' War, the leading burghers of Königsberg submit to Elizabeth of Russia, thus forming Russian Prussia until 1763. "282 years ago, in 1742, Charles VII Albert becomes Holy Roman Emperor. 345 years ago in 1679, King Charles II of England dissolves the Cavalier Parliament. 373 years ago in 1651, in the Arauco War, Spanish and Mapuche authorities meet in the Parliament of Baroa, renewing the fragile peace established at the Parliament of Quilin in 1641 and 1647. "488 years ago in 1536, King Henry VIII of England suffers an accident while jousting, leading to a brain injury that historians say may have influenced his later erratic behaviour and possible impotence. 566 years ago in 1458, Matthias Corvinus is elected King of Hungary. 586 years ago in 1438, the Council of Basel suspends Pope Eugene IV. 1110 years ago in the year 914, the start of the first Fatimid invasion of Egypt. And 1983 years ago in the year 41, Claudius is proclaimed Roman Emperor by the Praetorian Guard after they assassinate the previous emperor, his nephew Caligula. So that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you did indeed like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and also consider leaving a comment below. All feedback is very much welcome. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel grow and will ensure that you are notified of future videos. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you are notified of future videos as soon as they are posted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.